Sous-Vide Cod is a polarizing dish. For me, cooking cod at 131 Fahrenheit is finally what makes it edible. It's no longer that dry, gummy, fishy, cafeteria-tasting dish. It is still insanely moist and soft, but it does flake very easily. So about half of my students agree with my love of sous-vide cod. They tend to be the ones who like raw fish. About half of my students think this texture is really weird. They tend to be the ones that don't like raw fish. Don't get me wrong, this cod is not raw and it doesn't taste like sashimi, but there seems to be a correlation between people who like raw fish and people who like low temperature fish. The parts of this dish that are not controversial and get approval from absolutely everyone are the sides. Caramelized onions and fish is not something I ever thought would go together until I went to Spain. When I tried this combination for the first time, it knocked my socks off, and now I'm completely addicted to that. So add to that some crispy potatoes and salsa verde, and this dish is really something. Let's set our immersion circulator to 131 Fahrenheit and get started. Cod doesn't freeze well, so make sure your cod is fresh and in good shape. You could just season it with salt, but I like to add a little bit of Spanish smoked paprika to give this dish a more interesting aroma. Season cod on all sides and place it into a freezer Ziploc bag. Add a good glug of neutral oil. I'm using canola. This will keep the surface looking good, and if you're cooking multiple pieces, the oil will prevent them from sticking together. Place the bag in the water and push it down to the zipper while keeping it open to help the water displace the air, and zip. See how the oil ends up enveloping the fish? Cook for 20 minutes or until the fish flakes when you press on it through the bag. Once your fish is done, it can be held in the water bath for an additional 10 minutes if necessary. While our fish is cooking, let's work on our potatoes. The potato type I like to use for this dish are Yukon Golds, but Red Bliss would work fine too. Set a non-stick or well-seasoned cast iron skillet over medium-high heat and add a couple tablespoons of olive oil. When the oil is hot, add 1 pound of peeled and sliced potatoes. I use a Benriner Mandoline to slice mine nice and even. Sprinkle with salt, cover, and cook about 5 minutes or until they start to brown. Turn down the heat to medium, stir the potatoes, and cook covered for another 5 minutes or until more potatoes brown. Turn down the heat even further, stir again, give them another 5 minutes covered, and they should be nice and tender. If not, cook on low until they get there. Don't forget to taste for salt. My cod is done. The best way to get it out in one piece is a spatula. I didn't test it for Dennis to keep it intact for the picture, but after doing it a few times, I found that 20 minutes works well for pieces that are 1 to 1.5 inches thick. I already have a video for caramelized onions. If you make them ahead, reheat them before serving. And the recipe for salsa verde is below. See how soft and moist this fish is? Combining this pristine and delicate fish with all of these robust accompaniments seems counterintuitive, but it is really amazing. If you can't find cod, try haddock, hake, or splurge on a halibut. Halibut is probably my favorite fish to cook using this method. Of course, it's also the most expensive. This video was brought to you by viewers like you. If you liked it, click here to support my channel. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that little bell button for notifications, and if you're ever in the Boston area, maybe I'll see you in one of my classes.